While looking through the government records I'd found, I noticed something interesting. As late as 1940, the prophet and his son Billy Paul were living with his recently widowed mother on 304 East Maple Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Also living with them were 6 of his siblings. I suddenly realized that part of his life story was somewhat true, even if embellished and taken out of historical context. There were several Branhams living together under one single roof, just as he described in his life story accounts. Instead of small children, however, his siblings would have been grown men. I found it interesting to learn that he was working for the Public Service Company at the time. The prophet was a bill collector, collecting money from the poor people in Jeffersonville, while his brother Jesse worked at the dog tracks among the gamblers. I thought to myself, this isn't what the prophet described. I noticed that Henry Branham was among the siblings listed in the home of Ella Branham at the same time as the prophet and his son. Henry was a name that I was recently curious about and had been collecting any information that I could stumble upon that bore his name. When the prophet was first described by the Associated Press in 1948, it was Henry Branham that the news media named as the healer. I had often wondered, why did the press name his brother as the healer? There is no doubt that the prophet went through some hard times. He married Hope Brumback during the Great Depression. Based on his descriptions of the new automobiles he purchased and the places that he visited, he didn't seem to struggle too much. But those around him would have surely struggled. Still, he had his own set of hardships, and they were such difficult times that no person would have ever wanted to trade places. Not only had the prophet lost his wife, been forced to become a bill collector, lost his house, and been forced to move in with his mother, he did so during the worst of times. Like many Americans, he was faced with fears of war. The United States hadn't yet joined World War II, but many people feared that U.S. involvement in the war was inevitable. Suddenly, I stumbled onto something that was very surprising in the local newspapers. Because of the war with Germany, Henry Branham's name made the news.